All right. So just a short video. Right now it's like almost 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and it's very cold outside. Winter day, winter night. I just feel like every time at this moment, if I'm alone at home, I always feel a little bit scared because I always feel like the house is so big, so empty. What if somebody breaks in? And so I decide to go online and search for, you know, how do you prevent breaking? And generally, I live in a very safe neighborhood in Richmond Hill, but recently there are quite a few breaking-ins in Markham area, and Markham used to be a very safe area. So it's not that the resident or the people who move into Markham area suddenly become criminals. Rather, it's because people know that Markham area has been so safe, and a lot of homeowners do not have a notion or concept of how to prevent burglaries. So that's why it's relatively become a target for people from other areas will go to Markham and they will break in the houses there. So I did a quick research online and also some of my personal experience. I can show you my screen. So I just randomly look online and then read the news, read the topics, tips, how to prevent this kind of breaking in. And let's read it. Now it says that leave a radio or TV on. I think, I think this one's more like an old time. When if you imagine that your old grandma always stay at home, and then you will hear the radio playing over the baseball game. But that's more like 1980s. So, and TV, like who watch TV nowadays, right? We all watch Netflix on our iPad or like smart TV. So leave a radio TV on. I'll say this one probably is not that applicable because it's actually kind of weird that nowadays people will actually listen to the news from the radio, and I just don't think this is applicable anymore. Have a car in the driveway. Now this one is actually very good because from my personal experience, not for preventing a break-in, but every time if I park my car in the driveway, what's happening is that the people who are doing the door knocking, for the advertisement, they know that I'm home or somebody else is home, so they'll really eagerly ring the bell. Sometimes they'll wait outside your door for extra long time just because they saw your car in the driveway, and then immediately they'll think that you're home. So this one, yes, I think leaving a car in the driveway, if you live in a house, would be a good idea. Now, I never had this issue because I used to live in a condo, and when you live in a condo, it's great because you have a security, and also condominiums always so dense, right? You're very like side by side with other people. So really, depending on person, if you like those kind of big vibe like city populations, then it is a good feeling because you know you're always surrounded by other people. Now I live in a house, been living in a house for the past 5-6 years. It's great, there's a lot of space, but like I say, every time at night or at this kind of winter cold weather, really technically speaking, nobody's gonna break in the house at this weather or at this moment because statistically most people got breaking in during the afternoon actually. So it's not a night thing. But still, it's just a feeling that I always feel kind of scared to be at home at this time. So have a car in the driveway. This one, I think, yes, very good tip. Eliminate hiding spot. Yeah, for sure. Because right here in Richmond Hill, there's a lot of house with a big property, and what they like to do is they have a big trees, a lot of big plants. So that's not talking about people breaking in. You might have animals hiding beside a tree, and for me, I have no plants in my backyard, just because I don't like plants. So I don't really want to spend any time to take care of those things. But I do understand if you have a big trees, you do want to eliminate a hiding spot. What you can do is put a sensor lighting, because that's what I do. I put a sensor lighting in the backyard, so the light will automatically go on if there's anything. Now the downside is that sometimes it's very sensitive. So even if just the wind blowing, and then the light will turn on. Secure your front door. This is like the no-brainer. Everybody know you have to secure your front door. And most likely people are not gonna break in from the front door. They will most likely go to the backyard, go to the sunroof, go to the windows. Monitor your front door. Again, I don't think people are gonna, go to your front door and say, "Hi, here I am, gonna break in your house." Especially if they see a camera there, they're gonna say, "Hey, I'm here to break in your house." So I don't think it's really applicable. But obviously, if you have a camera at the front door, what's that gonna tell people who have an intention to break in your house? Is first they'll think, okay, there's some security going on in this house. Maybe I should move on to the next target. So I think that's one of the reasons you want to put a sort of camera. A lot of people, a lot of store, they put those fake camera right there, and just to basically just to scare people off, right? And again, like surveillance camera, a guard dog. Now, a dog is wonderful, but because I'm a dog person, and a lot of people can already tell from my Instagram, I love dogs. However, nowadays we don't get dogs as a guard, right? We get dogs as a pet, as our family member. I never think that my when Milo was alive, I never thought that he's gonna guard me, right? If anything, when people break in, I will want to protect him, because that's really the most precious thing in my house is my dog. So, but that's just for me. But really, according to my own experience and talking to other dog owners, nobody really getting the dog nowadays to use as a guard. People like golden retrievers, we like chihuahuas. It's a cute pet. However, if you have a dog, that just add on an extra difficulties for people who have intention to break in your house. They really think about, should I really break in this house? They have a dog there. So I do think having a dog or a cat will certainly be an add-on benefit, beside having a pet, which is a wonderful thing. It will serve a purpose. And another thing I think having a dog is very good is like the dog is not guarding the door literally, but they have a very sensitive ears and smells. And that's something I always feel so safe is whenever I have a dog around me, I know that they will be able to hear things way faster than I am, and they will bark really, really loud. So giving a dog, I think, is a good idea. Stay alert during the day. Like I say, most breaking, like right here, most breaking between 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. But most people are not home, right? You're working between 9 to 5. So stay alert. Maybe not really applicable to a lot of people. Stay alert during the day. So yeah, that's the tips in this website. I have another one pull up here. Let's take a look at it. Say don't show both. Basically, don't leave valuable outside your door. I don't know about this one because like the people who break into the house, they really want a few things. They want cash. They want a jewelry, right? This is like nobody breaking your house to steal TV anymore. First of all, TV is very cheap nowadays. And second thing, like I said, nobody watching TV anymore. But nobody's gonna go to your house, breaking your house to move the big items. People are really looking for jewelries and cash. So my own 2 cents is that if the best way to prevent breaking is don't keep jewelries and cash in your home. Like I have a safe in TD banks. If you keep all the valuables in banks, I really don't know why people like to keep valuables at home, because there's no insurance. If you do want to do insurance, you have to pay extra. However, if you keep your items in bank, it's automatically insured up to 100 grand. So if you say you have more than 100 grand, then you open more safe in different banks. So that way it all insured. But if you keep a big safe inside your house just to keep your jewelry and your cash, I don't think it's really a good idea. So, but that's just for me. Personally, I keep all my valuables in the banks because it's insured automatically. And tricking burglars. Okay, so same thing, leave the lights on, things like that. Now, I will say that my sister used to live alone in a big house, and what she always does is she put a men's boots outside the door. So if you go to the front door, you'll see few like big, gigantic boots. Looks like she's living with some like 6'9" big giant man with her. So that was certainly deterred some of the breaking, some of the burglars, knowing that okay, this house certainly there's some male inside it, there's some big guys inside it. So I think that's the way that you can trick in burglars, and also nowadays with a smart light, you can turn on the light during a certain period of time. That will make sense if you use use your smartphone to control it, to schedule it, and then the light will go on and go off. That will be a much better way to tricking the burglars than turn on the radio. I think this is just more like a modern way, more smart. Secure sliding doors and windows. Well, like I said, no brainer. Of course, you have to secure it. I will say that, however, after leaving the house, sometimes I do forget to lock the sliding doors. It's so convenient that you open a sliding door, you turn off, and you forget to lock it because you feel like, hey, it's my backyard, right? It's my property. Who else is gonna go in? Well, people are gonna break in from there. And same as second windows, second floors. Sometimes we just open during the summer days, and we don't even close it. Don't leave a spare key out. I used to leave a spare key out, to be honest with you. And it is right, you shouldn't leave a spare key out. But like I say, I don't think whether you have a key or not is a big deal. Because if people want to break in your house, like most doors, most key doors, they're so easy to break. You know, it's not gonna prevent people breaking into your house just because they don't have a key. So yeah, definitely don't leave a spare key out. But even if you do, it's not gonna encourage anyone to break in. It's also not gonna stop anyone to break in. Secure your yard. Yeah, same thing. I just say before, have a sensory light. Get police help. What else are you going to do? If you have a break-in, of course you're gonna get police help. The thing about it is that if it happened after you come home, then yes, fine. The worst case is it happened during the time you're home. And it happened to one of my friend's cousin, that when she was taking a nap during the lunch, during the noon, and somebody break in. And what did she do? Of course she ran, of course, because your life is more important than your properties. So get police help. Yes, certainly you will have to do that. But if it's a life and death situation, I don't think police will be arriving there on time. Prepare before vacation. Oh yeah, this one for sure. Because I used to, go on vacation and ask people to check my mailbox. But the thing about that is people are not that reliable. And also it's a big burden, to asking your friends or relatives to keep going to your property, checking your mailbox. And and who knows, they might chat with the neighbors saying that, oh yeah, Enho is not home during these 3 months. Then everybody know you're not home. So the best way is you can go to the Canada Post and fill out the form. It's called vacation, temporary leave, things like that. And then you pay a fee. So they'll keep all the mails, including the flyers. They'll keep everything in a secure place. They basically the mail that they wouldn't mail it out. So that after the vacation, you can pick everything up all at once. But that way, there will be no ladder staying around in front of your front door, and then people will not know you are not home. So this one, it's a very good idea. I use it many times before whenever I go on vacation. And know your neighbors. This one is also good too, although it's kind of hard nowadays for people to warm up to their neighbors. Back then when I first moved into a house, I thought, wow, this is gonna be like what I saw in American movies, where people have baking pies, say, hi neighbors, welcome to our community. Well, that's not the case, right? Even though it is a community, people don't really get along or talk to neighbors anymore, even if you're living just right beside them. So know your neighbors. It's really depends on your personality. If you are that kind of person, you like to get to know your neighbors, then yes, it's a really good idea, because your neighbor will be the best guard, basically, the best watchdogs than you're actually anybody else. Because they know, right? They know everything about you. They know what car you drive. So if they see a foreign car that parked in your driveway, they might call cops just because like they're worried about you. So know your neighbors. It's a good idea. It's just you have to do it, and not many people like to do that because people like to have their privacy nowadays. Stay vigilant. All right, this is a no-brainer, and lock it up, of course. So I think it's a very good tips. And another two things I'll add on personally is, get those kind of security systems because nowadays it's so convenient. I have a Roger security system. Now, of course, if people really want to break in, it's not gonna stop them. But like I said, it's a discouragement, right? If they see a Rogers system, if they know the alarm is gonna sound up, then they might think twice because they will really want to do research. Like, do they really want to break in my house? Do I have anything worthwhile for them to take the trouble? So that's what I always use. Have a home security system, and nowadays it's very simple. You can turn on, turn off with your smartphone. But that's something that makes me feel way much safer if I'm not home or if I'm home, just to know that, okay, there's a camera inside the house, there's a security system, and basically I can remote monitor everything inside the house. And the second thing is, like I just mentioned, don't keep valuable at home. If you really have jewelry and cash, keep in the bank. If you have antiques, keep in the bank. If you have something that because aside from jewelry and cash, man, everything else is replaceable, right? Your TV, your computer. I will say that when I used to have a dog, I really so worried. Like whenever I think about people gonna break in the house, that's my biggest worry. Is that they're gonna steal my dog. But who's gonna break in your house and steal your dog, right? So a lot of time we think the things are valuable are not really valuable for the people who want to break in your house. Last thing is, you can have a firearm. Now, I got my firearm license right after I graduated from high school. Right after I turned 18, graduated, I got it approximately the same time I got my G2. So approximately the same time I got my a driver's license, the second tier in Ontario. That's the same time I got my firearm license. Now, in Canada, it's not like US. We don't really have like a self defense law that's so clear like in some states in US. The good thing is we also don't have that much shootings in comparing to US. But having a firearm at least enable you to carry illegal firearms at home. Now, whether you can use it or not when people break in your house, I don't know. I'm not gonna answer that because I'm not a lawyer. I don't want to give you any information. I will say it's like having a Rogers security system. It's just a thing to make you feel safe. If you know you have a firearm, you're legally allowed to own a firearm, and you put it at your home in a safe place, and you know that, okay, in the worst case scenario, if you have to protect yourself, at least you have something to count on, right? Now, I don't know whether in practicalities, how realistic is that, because you have to, according to the firearm laws, you have to keep the weapon and the bullet separately and lock in box, right? So whether you really have time to take out the firearms and load the guns, I don't know. But like I say, you might as well get a license, because that's anyway the first steps for you to, if you have an option, basically you yourself have an option to say, okay, even if you don't live in a house right now, if you're thinking about it, then if you are the adults of the house, then think about who you have to protect. We're not talking about jewelry and cash. We're talking about maybe people breaking into a house in the middle of the night. You have your partner, you might have your kids, you might have your dogs. How are you going to protect them? Now, hope these things never ever happen in your life, but never say never, right? So for me, that's my three things that I will add on, is to have a security system. It's not that expensive nowadays, and it's very, very convenient. And second thing is, don't keep the valuables at home, because then if you really get break-ins, at least you're not gonna lose too much things. And third is, consider having, I shouldn't say firearm, Okay, consider having a firearm license so that at least you have an option in the future. If you have a lot of people that you need to protect, then you have an option to know whether you want to have a firearms in your house or not. Again, I'm not encouraging people to do it or not. I'm just saying that's one of the options that I personally took, and that makes me feel much safer during this time. If I'm alone, if it's winter, if it gets dark really, really easily, and that's just something I want to share. Okay, so yeah, you guys can comment below. Let me know what if you live in a house, how do you feel safe like at night if you're living alone? Like how do you prevent or discourage break-ins? Okay, all right. Thanks for watching, and it's 1 o'clock. I'm gonna go to sleep. All right, good night. Bye bye.